born here in 1954. I came back here when I gave birth to my son in 1981. I was a young girl and I wasn't aware of the politics of giving birth to a child out of wedlock. As an adult, 57, having lived in this town since 1988, I would like to ask council and the mayor and the police department to reinforce the laws against trafficking and fornication, if for no other reason than the consistent recruitment by gang members in my ward of children and myself, an adult. I've consistently been asked to open my apartment and myself to certain black market practices in terms of Botox and somatropium, which are readily sold in Atlanta and in Macon, Georgia, in private clinics. And as far as I'm aware, they're not supposed to be any radio discs on the premises of Kendall Heights, but they are. And in the wee hours of the morning, when they have the graveyard shift on at the police department, they have people in the parking lots that seem to want to interfere with the cable lines. I, as a tenant, do not have cable. I do not have discs. And because I can't afford it, I'm on a fixed income, and I'm trying to go forward in my life and not be what they call, quote unquote, forever young. And by the grace of God, you will consider my my thoughts and act upon them, because somatropium and Botox are medicine. We all recognize this. As an adult, I recognize there are regulations to it, and it's for the protection and the health of the community. You just don't go in a window or go in a woman's apartment when she's asleep and decide you want to use a catheter needle because she is asleep and take fluids from her body. You don't go in an institution and do it either. You don't stand around and pander. And when a person asks you through wind and air what another person is doing in order to steal from them, or also what they call deliver them to the system, you don't sit by for that also. But by the grace of God, you'll really consider reinforcing the laws on fornication. Because the young men and the young women in this community think that it's cute, it's funny. A 14-year-old boy thinks it's funny to talk about my breast or my butt. He thinks it's funny. I have a child that's 30, you know, and at some point you have to let them know that there's a line drawn in the law enforcement community, which is the city council, the sheriff, and the police department. And for some reason in Kendall Heights, it seems to be no line. As long as nobody's looking, nobody's watching, a lot of things are done that are quite arbitrary. They collect dirt out of garbage cans to smear, and it's purposely done. And it's done in Brooklyn, in a voodoo shop in Kingston. They collect worms. They collect them and they sell them. They collect people's dirt and they sell it. And by the grace of God, you know, this generation is going into another generation. My life has been going on for 30 years, and it's going into another generation. By the grace of God, somebody in the city council will consider having the laws in terms of fornication reinforced, because it is a personal matter. Okay, DNA, when you swap it, it is personal matter, but it's impersonal when you have some older people that will give them $60 if they get a 20. If they have no money, it's fine in that. And that's all I have to say. And I hope to leave this with